So in this video, I want to talk about this Derrick Jackson cheating scandal that has gone viral. And I want to give my thoughts on why I think his wife, Derrick Jackson, will not leave him. Nor do I think many of his black female fans will withdraw their support from him. And I did see some of Tasha K's videos talking about the side chicks, and I also saw the videos he released with him and his wife doing damage control, holding hands, and saying that, you know, they're going to stay together. And I just want to talk about why I think that is. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with Derrick Jaxn, he is an author. He's also here on YouTube. He's a relationship guru that does videos giving black women in particular relationship advice. And a lot of black women love him or loved him and support him and buy his books, frankly, because he panders to black women. He's a huge panderer. He's very hard on men. He tells women how to avoid bad men. And this is not to say that he never gives any good advice, but it does come off like pandering. And I've said this before on a live stream when I was asked to share my thoughts on him. And any black woman, in my opinion, with some sense, saw from a mile away that this man is a panderer. I think the only women who were shocked by this were delusional, pro-black women, maybe religious women, who may not be privy to the conversations happening on this side or, you know, in black female level up spaces like mine, and really don't recognize black male panderers. And let's just keep it real here, okay? Derrick got so popular because he represents the black man that a lot of black women want. A lot of black women dream of getting men like Derrick. Tall, dark, muscular. And he used that and black women's desperation for validation from black men to his advantage. This is why, in my opinion, he hid his wife for so long and nobody knew he was married, because he wanted to portray that image of, you know, the attractive black male bachelor, the ideal black man who's, you know, still looking for his queen. He knew that he represented that fantasy black man. And he knew that his black female followers felt that they may have a chance with him every time they watched his videos. This is marketing, okay? So he knew what he was doing. And if you think that this is the end of Derrick Jaxn, I want you to think again. Y'all mad now and y'all outraged now and y'all talking about how y'all are canceling him. But if y'all know the internet like I know the internet, y'all memory is hella short. And he's about to play a lot of black women all over again, him and his wife. She said on the video that we will be seeing more of her. So what they're going to do is rebrand and become one of these God-fearing black family, black power couple channels and start giving counsel to black women and black men on how to overcome their, you know, trials and tribulations and temptations through Christ as a married couple. And black women, especially Christian black women, because, you know, they did a whole bunch of Jesus talk on their videos or whatever, you know, putting God into it and whatnot. And so a lot of black women out here, Christian black women, religious black women in particular, are going to eat that up. And as well as the pro-black love black women, they're going to eat it up. They're going to eventually forgive him. And, you know, they're going to love seeing him and his wife on video. So he's about to make more money, you guys. And I was just talking to one of my moderators about this. I think, you know, he may take a little break. But when he comes back, that will probably be the next step on his platform. You know, the whole married couple counseling thing. And I'm going to tell you something else. When they come back, his wife won't have a bonnet on. She will be brand ready for the camera. Mark my words. And see, I don't know if y'all realize this, but the side chicks and Tasha K did Derrick a favor. After the internet anger calms down, people are going to forgive and forget, and they'll be the typical black struggle love success story that black people, and more specifically black women, love. Okay. And obviously it won't work on us over here because we know what's up. But for a lot of black women, oh, they're going to eat it up until Derrick cheats again and they get a divorce. And listen, I'm not wishing bad on their marriage or anything. I'm just looking at patterns, and I'm saying that this is usually how it goes. I could be wrong, but this is just my predictions, okay? We forgive and we forget quickly in general, but when it's a black man and a black love story, we tend to be a little bit more understanding and we forgive even quicker. And this all goes back to black women's unhealthy desperation for black men, like what I said in my video about Chris, Paige, and Married at First Sight. And I'll get back to our desperation in a minute, because I first wanted to talk about him cheating on his wife, okay? First off, like I've said before, cheating is not a deal breaker for every woman, especially if the man hides it well, if he doesn't embarrass his wife publicly or have outside children. I don't know what rock y'all are living under, but many women of all races with high earning men especially. And Derrick, I'm pretty sure he's high earning. I know she said that she left the mansion and she eventually came back. So, they got some money, right? But, women with these kind of men, especially, they put up with cheating because they like the lifestyle that their husband provides. I don't condone cheating, but it's up to every woman to decide whether or not it's a deal breaker for her. And I think it's important in these conversations to be realistic about relationships. Not all men cheat for sure, but many do. And this goes for all men. This idea that poor men don't cheat, that's false, ladies. I mean, look around. Do you guys really believe that? A lot of what these men are trying to sell you, oh, you might as well, settle for a low value man because all these high value men are going to cheat on you, y'all. Stop. Stop. Now, I will say that men with who have money, high earning men, have more options than women. I'm not going to deny that. But a man who wants to cheat, going to find somebody to cheat with, no matter the socioeconomic status. So if you think dating low value men or dusties is going to stop you from getting cheated on, ladies, you may be in for a rude awakening. I mean, how many dusties are out here cheating on black women? Get out of here. Okay, so the way I look at it is, do I want to be cheated on? No, absolutely not. But if it happens, I'd rather be cheated on by a high earning man than a low earning man or a dusty. And who's ever mad about me saying that can stay mad, okay? But the problem here is that Derrick Jaxn did embarrass his wife. And there's two main reasons why she won't leave him, in my opinion. One, she's been overly indoctrinated with Christianity. Her entire page is filled with Bible scriptures. God said this, God said that, which isn't a bad thing on its own. If you whatever your beliefs is fine. But I do worry that religion may be blinding her of her reality and clouding her judgment a little bit, which it unfortunately tends to do for many black women and black people in general. So that's the first thing. The second thing is she has a lot invested, people. She's been with this man since high school, from my understanding. She has 2 kids with Derrick. He's probably paying most of the bills, if not all of the bills. She's financially comfortable and doesn't want to give that up, at least at this moment in time. I know in the video she said, oh, well, I did leave. I left him and I left the mansion. I didn't care about any of that. But her ass came right back to the mansion, though. And she probably felt like, okay, well, this is the best I can do. This is the best provider I'm ever going to have. He's the father of my children. And then you combine religion with all of that. Yeah. So that's why she stayed. So it's a little strange to me that I haven't heard many women making the observation, between like the lifestyle and her staying, but that's most likely a big reason why she's staying, and a reason why a lot of women stay with high earning men. This is not new, ladies. Look at Tiny and T.I. Look at Leela Rashawn and her husband. Sometimes these women will put up with cheating to live comfortably or just to have a black man, which again, I'll touch more on later. And let me say this to the people criticizing Danae's appearance. Just keeping it all the way real. This is just, marketing promotion, Chrissie. I wouldn't have personally come on camera looking like that, addressing my husband cheating. I know she's tired, but I would have mustered up some type of effort to put myself together. I would have been snatched from head to toe because I know how presentation and perception works. So, marketing and promotion, Chrissie, really wish she would have shown up on camera looking fabulous. But considering what she's dealing with, I do understand that she just may not feel like putting effort into her appearance. I think she may be checked out and just doesn't care at this point. Or maybe this was calculated. Maybe Derrick Jackson wanted to show that, hey, she may not be a supermodel, but this is my wife and I'm going to stick by her. And, those side chicks don't matter. Doesn't matter what they look like, this, that, and the third. Because like I said, I think going forward, they're going to try to be like, the relatable black couple that overcame all of their struggles. So it could have been a thing where, they were trying to be relatable. I'm not sure. I'm just thinking of different reasons why, she may have come on camera looking like that. And again, she just may have been tired. I don't know. And I think it's also important for women to remember that men will cheat on any woman. Some of the women that the world considers to be most beautiful have been cheated on, ladies. Women like Beyonce, for example. So, you can keep yourself dolled up 24/7. You can fuck a man on a regular. You can keep it right and tight. You can keep your weight down, and which I do recommend doing, not just for your man, but for you, especially if the man is, keeping himself maintained physically. But men who want to cheat, ladies, are going to cheat, even if you do all of that. So my thing is, just don't be around here thinking that that's all it takes to keep a man faithful, is to just keep yourself up and look pretty all the time. That's totally unrealistic. And again, you're going to be in for a rude awakening if you think that's all it's going to take. Okay. And me personally, I question if men especially are naturally monogamous. I think some men choose to be. But I think they have a much harder time with that than women do. A lot of women cheat, obviously. Women cheat too. But I think men in particular have a harder time with that. A lot of men like variety. You can be fit, you can be beautiful, and men will grow tired of you and want a new fit and beautiful woman because she's new and she ain't you. So I think it's important for women to not be delusional and think that being well maintained can keep a man. Now, with that being said, I'll keep it all the way 100 here. Just like I talked about in my video with Chris and Paige from Married at First Sight, I don't think Derrick is attracted to his wife. I don't think she's his type. The side piece that I saw looks nothing like her. And like most black men, of course, Derrick seems to have a type for quote unquote exotic or mixed race looking women, right? So the wife is giving me come up black woman vibes, which I've discussed in several videos on this channel. She's been with him since high school. She's been with him since he was broke. She most likely helped to build him up. And now he has access to the women he really wants now that he has more money. So he's been cheating, right? He's young, he can't resist the temptation, right? I mean, how many more examples do we need, ladies? Avoid being the come up woman or Barb the Builder. It rarely ends well. I mean, seriously. I mean, we've seen this time and time again. He probably wants that fantasy, what most black men consider to be the fantasy woman on his arm. But again, to keep her ideal man, her ideal black man, she's gonna put up with it. And to maintain this image, or help maintain the image that Derrick has established and going forward that he wants to establish, he's gonna try to stay with his wife, right? And that brings me back to the desperation of black women. So I hear people talking about how Derrick is exploiting black women's pain and loneliness and insecurities, which is very true. But he specifically is capitalizing off of black women's scarcity mindset pertaining to their dating options, okay? They only want a black man. So they strongly desire the validation and approval from black men specifically, because let's just be honest, that is lacking in this community. A lot of black women don't feel validated by black men. It's like we're starved for attention. So black women latch on to black men specifically who give black women advice, whether it be black male relationship gurus, entertainers, preachers, right? Especially, with Danae's case, right? So black women latch on to that. And I don't hear many people saying that it really is an unhealthy attachment to black men specifically, or they aren't, they're tiptoeing around it. They aren't really being direct about it because they're still trying to be fair and balanced, or they're still black male identified, not male identified, but black male identified, right? And I think it's important to explicitly state that it's an unhealthy attachment to black men because it's part of why Black women keep going to these men for their advice. They represent the ideal Black man that Black women want, and who, in my opinion, are desperate for. Many Black women hate to admit it, but a lot of us like to be lied to by Black men or humiliated by Black men, just as long as, we're getting some sort of attention from Black men. And this is how you become so vulnerable to getting scammed and or exploited. This is why these men go viral and gain so many followers giving Black women advice, whether it's pandering or just telling them they aren't good enough to get a high value Black man, or telling them ways in which they need to improve. These are the men Black women want approval from and want validation from. So they call their shows, they buy their books, they hang on to their every word. Then when they get caught up in some kind of scandal, Black women are shocked and confused when the signs were there the entire time. This will not be the first man on here, and mark my words, this will not be the first Black man on here giving advice that will be exposed by Tasha K. And then y'all gonna be surprised all over again. It's just, it's like a cycle. And then the next Black man that comes along in a shiny suit or something, that's all glamorized, you're gonna fall into that again until a scandal breaks out, and then you're gonna be shocked and confused. It's like a cycle at this point. It happens over and over and over again, and we continue to be surprised for some reason. So I want Black women to understand that this goes beyond Derrick Jaxn. This represents Black women's unhealthy attachment to Black men specifically, who are using them for their own personal gain, whether it be to pander or to humiliate. And because, you just think that there's not enough Black men, again, the scarcity mindset, you think that, oh my God, we're running out of good Black men, so I have to listen to these men to figure out how to be good enough for them. And it's never going to work. It's never going to work. You're going to have to expand your options, get rid of that scarcity mindset, stop latching onto all these men who think they have all the answers. And for those who want to say, oh, well, Chrissie, you do the same thing. Nice try, but no. My message on colorism, hypergamy, leveling up, it brings awareness to Black women and help them level up and take them out of the struggle and out of the matrix. The advice that most of the men give keeps them in the struggle, keeps them in the matrix, keeps them on the hamster wheel. So there's a big difference here, and y'all are on a hamster wheel. Pick me, rate me. Where do I rank when, a lot of you are really their last choice, and they were never going to pick you anyway. They just have fun humiliating you, but y'all like it because you're desperate for their attention. The desperation has you gravitating towards these Black men, and these, pro-Black male spaces, pro-Black community spaces, instead of pro-Black woman spaces, which is unfortunate because a lot of times the pro-Black woman advice is going to benefit you the most. That's the advice that Black women need the most, right? There are just certain things men cannot teach women and vice versa. That is just the way it is, ladies. And as a woman, especially a Black woman, you should not be getting all of your advice from men, ladies. You just shouldn't. It's not wise, right? And I also want to warn Black women about this fake perfectionism that's being sold by some of these gurus on YouTube, especially. Fake perfection and glamour sells, right? It's a big seller, right? It's part of the reason why, a lot of people are popular that show their face. I don't expect to be as popular as someone who shows their face and, has all the glamour, right? Because that sells. But it isn't real, ladies. It's not real. And as someone with a marketing background, there are times when glamour is necessary and is very useful, and it's even okay to enjoy as a consumer. But it's important not to get too caught up in glamour, ladies. And this goes beyond Black men on YouTube, okay? It's Black women too. It's Black women on here selling you fake perfection, selling you glamour with these femininity videos. I have to say it. You have Black women who have taken bits and pieces of the femininity and hypergamy message, and they're bastardizing the movement, right? They're bastardizing the message, and they're weaponizing it against other Black women by deeming everything you do to protect yourself as masculine, or, conflating the act of self-preservation and acting in your best interest with being extreme or hateful or divisive, right? When the truth is that when black women actually put themselves first in the same way everyone else does, including black men, and are honest about the nature of men, the nature of black men in the black community, it's always going to be labeled as man hating. It's always going to be labeled as extreme by the black community because people want to keep you brainwashed and conditioned, even those who claim they are here to help you. And that is what people like Derrick Jaxn are doing, right? So beware of the gurus who are always trying to be politically correct or claim to be, fair and balanced while claiming to help black women, because there's no way to be completely fair and balanced when putting yourself first as a black woman and practicing a form of radical self-care. It's impossible to be fair when you're doing that as a black woman. And anyone telling you that, whether it be Derrick Jackson, whether it be some of these, fake femininity gurus out here, whoever it is, they're not being honest. Okay. Beware of the gurus that condemn those telling you the truth as a black woman, telling you what you need to hear as a black woman, or calling that truth quote unquote hateful, because they can't possibly have your best interest at heart. So, there are a lot of gurus, both male and female, who try to pretend that they're so much better or different than Derrick, but have talking points that will also keep you in the matrix. And Derrick has been a huge target of the black male red pill community. I mean, they are basking in this situation right now because I guess now they can say, well, see, black women, Derrick isn't perfect. He ain't shit like the rest of us. He's just telling you what you want to hear, which I get it. It's like, it's a gotcha moment for them. And they're right about him. They are. But what's funny about it is that they too have both black women, biracial women right here on YouTube who pander to black men as well to make money. And they eat it up as black men. So it's hilarious to see them and the actual women who pander to black men speaking about this as if they also aren't panderers. It's just the craziest thing. And it's as if they also aren't giving black women advice that's going to keep them struggling. Furthermore, pandering or not, this is still not a good look for the so-called, quote unquote, good black men in the community who are opposite of the Pookies and Ray Rays, who supposedly never cheat and do everything right and never do anything wrong. So it's interesting to see them revel in this situation and not see how, the quote unquote nice guys they're referring to when they tell black women to choose better clearly can be bad choices as well. Clearly can be cheaters, clearly can be colorists. Clearly can't keep their dick in their pants, just like Pookie, right? But the fact that some black women are shocked by this is very telling, ladies. And it shows me that the message over here either hasn't spread far enough, or black women are just refusing to listen. And they want to remain, willfully ignorant, right? And this is why it's important for me to reiterate this information for black women as these situations happen, because it's clear that a lot of black women still don't get it. And this is why black women like me come on here and we beat a dead horse. And speaking of that, also beware of the black women, because I've been seeing this a lot, but beware of the black women who get mad at other black women like me who come on here and repeat information for newcomers and black women who are just finding our space, because I personally think they have an agenda to stop more black women from getting the message and getting their information. I understand that some of you are tired of hearing me repeat myself, but I've said this before. It's not just about you learning the information. It's about other black women too who have not been privy of this information. It's about reaching other women who have been following men like Derrick Jackson and never heard of me, or other women who talk about black men who pander. It's about reaching them too. It's not just about your level up journey and you learning something. Like, the information doesn't stop, or the message doesn't stop being spread just because you learn something. It's not just about you. And that's the problem with a lot of black women, a lot of black mothers, black people, period. Y'all don't like to pass down information. This is why a lot of your children grow up not knowing shit. And y'all can be mad about me saying that. You're just going to have to stay mad. It's the truth. So while you may have heard me say something already, Other women haven't heard it. And I think it's extremely selfish and honestly suspicious to expect Black women content creators to stop talking about a topic just because you or a minority of Black women have heard it before, as if there aren't thousands of other Black women who need the information. If most Black women knew this stuff, you wouldn't be shocked about Derrick Jackson. You wouldn't be out here looking stupid calling these Black men's shows, allowing them to make a mockery out of you and getting rich off of humiliating you. If you knew this stuff, you wouldn't be doing that. So I do look at Black women who claim to want to help other Black women, but seemingly want to stop other Black women from getting the information. I look at y'all real funny style, because your concern for Black women appears to be very disingenuous and very fake. You don't spread a message to thousands or millions of people by only saying it one time. That's not how it works. And a lot of it is jealousy too from other content creators. They just want you to shut up so they can try to take over. So I get that too, but it's like, no, I'm here and I'm here to stay, and you're just going to have to deal. Listen, I expect Black men to want to stop the message from spreading, because most of them, don't benefit from other Black women knowing the truth. But when other Black women try to stop it, they get a strong side eye from me. You just as funny style as Derrick Jackson in my book. I'm sorry, not sorry. But yeah, that's my opinion on this situation. This was not the video I had planned for today. I have some other videos coming up. I need to do some catching up. Y'all know I stay busy and I don't have time to upload a lot. But I do have some other videos coming up. Stay tuned. Let me know what you think about this down in the comment section, and I'll catch up with you in the next one.